Hi, Bill Pattison, Art of Illusion. Once again, we still have our value chart from white to black. Again, every painting has values, whatever the colors are. And as we'll start talking about temperature and other things besides the values as we go through here. But I start out with a very cool, as you can tell, snow scene. I did that actually on a piece of cardboard. We're talking about certain places that you look. And in fact, the biggest place, if you can see it here, was a smudge of black that I never erased. So it's one of those places the eye goes over to once you see it, whether you want it to or not. Nothing really black outside of this one. A lot of 8s and 9s under the bridge. Now the whitest white that we see is up here in the cloud, which is really kind of nice striking with the neutral grays. And then under the bridge, around the frozen water, that little light, which is about a number 2 instead of 1, but it plays against about a number 8. So it's one of those magical places that the eye has to go to. Unfortunately, because I didn't change that one, the eye goes to that also, which is what as I looked at it, stuck it up there, it's like, whoa, why didn't I ever change that one? Now, if this is painting for sale or shown, again, I show you the mistake that we put on here. But this is where I'm going to lead the viewer. And with light, when you're using light as your mainstay, no matter what the colors are, your eye has to go to the light areas, especially when you deal with this contrast. I can make people look wherever I want to. I just can't make you always like it, and I can't make you always want to buy it. But again, it's bathed in cool. It's a nice cool with a few warms inside of the church. A lot of contrast again, a lot of high end. This is, even though it's a lower night, with the evening scene, still a lot of these high end neutrals with a few of the 1s and 2s inside. The next one, we're going to go from one switch to the other. In this case, we've gone very warm, as you can tell. Wow, what a change from the cool tones. Morning-ish, evening looks more like evening. So again, nothing really white, no 1s at all. The sun is probably a number 2 over here. The darkest darks on some of the trees are probably way up into the 7s or 8s. But look at the difference with the temperature. Cool colors recede, warm colors come forward. So this painting is vibrant. It just kind of jumps around there with a load of the contrast. I never really finished out just a study, never even finished out the pumpkins or anything. But your eye automatically, because of the lights on the path, on the road, back above the horizon line with the birds, and back where the sun is behind the clouds. Emotional types of things again. So we're leading viewers on this wonderful journey with lights and darks slash the color, or slash with colors. And if you can tell through here, little places, that atmospheric conditions that I love playing into my paintings. There's a little light back behind the fence, which makes your eye wonder what is back there. And I love to look at my paintings or look at other people's paintings, that I can go on that little journey. I think probably one of the best things that we all strive for in a painting is not that just someone likes your painting, but when they tell you, I can see more into your paintings every time I look. The people walk in and out. It's like a good book or a good movie that you never get tired of seeing or reading, which don't happen very often. Again, so the whole dynamics from a cool theme to a warm theme, and last but not least, we have more back to the neutral. These are 2 colors. Use some burnt umber and blue, and our darkest dark is way up inside of here. Most of that, just a few under the eve, maybe 8, 9s. Everything else is, wow, way up in here. You can tell some 5s and 6s. A few off-whites and some of the clouds, but a whole lot of this again. If we had videotape maybe all 6 or 7 of these paintings we've been showing side by side, what a great study that would be. From the black and white ones we did one episode to some of the color ones last week. But the mood again, look how soft and airy, overcast type of thing inside of here. And some of the really neat zinger areas, this little edge, this little cliff right here. So I put a fence up there so you wouldn't nighttime walk off in your sleep off the edge. But it's really nice contrast. Sharp, soft, light, dark, a little bit of light versus the dark. And that's what we play over and over, isn't it? Light, dark, sharp, soft, big, small, cool, warm. And to here we have that nice dark, which is not dark, dark, way over into here, but really nice contrast from the sharper, darker to your background. And look at the lightest cloud, from the whitest one to the darkest behind it. So they kind of play those. Even back on these bottom trees, some subtle lights with some subtle grays. I love these simple paintings in here, and a lot of people say, what is a simple painting? Well, sometimes a simple painting is not always easy to do, and sometimes when you think it's more complicated, sometimes harder paintings are sometimes easier to pull off. Now, that being said, sometimes harder paintings are hard to pull off too. But if we go back to this, not seeing color, and if you've seen my other episodes or heard me speak on other tapes, I'm 50% colorblind, so I'm sure not seeing what you guys see in color. But what I said to my class, in fact, I just had class this evening, and I told my class, my 50% color blindness is 100% correct to me. What I see is what I think I see, where most of you see color better than I. Back to the thing, color is not real. It's an optical illusion, as lights and darks aren't real. Because at a dark night, pitch night, where nothing ever illuminates, the eyes never dilate to it. So as we can see, if you can, again, look at the different movement, and always, all paintings are under here somewhere, from the darkest dark to nocturne to the lightest light. And this is probably one of those, if we had taken the lower quadrant area out and maybe did this as just a skyscape, wow, how differently the darkest darks would be way over here in the 2, 3, 4. And we may do one of those. I've done those in some of my classes, and I tell them when we do this, one of the hardest paintings you'll ever do is like 3 or 4 values, because it's hard to do this, especially when you're trying to play all these little subtleties through there. So again, study some of these tapes, study your own paintings, look at constantly, look at other people's pieces, and try to look at the values inside of the colors. And so we're going to start getting some of the episodes with color, and we'll start talking about the color and values, or temperature, but we will always go back into the values inside of the colors and temperatures through there. So again, hope it helps, and again, send your questions to our sites, and we'd like to address whatever it is that you'd like to see talked about or done. So keep painting.